Hello, I'm Dave Henning, Fresh Start Podcast, fresh ideas for business and personal growth. And today, my guest is Javenna Bellinger from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Javenna. How are you?
Fine. Thanks for having me, Mr. Dave. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, I'm really excited to have you as a guest because we just got to know each other recently, but I'm a huge fan of education. So, having said that, let's dive right in. I want to know about your children's books. I just actually realized that some years ago, I took a children's writing course. It was like one of those correspondence course. I think that was before the internet was invented or something. I don't know. And I just got my homework back about a story that I wrote about my daughter when she was a little girl.
Oh,
And my instructor really kind of thought I could do better. Let's just say that. So thanks so much for being here. So why did you start writing books?
well, I love writing. I started off as a songwriter, and then it was kind of hard to break into the industry because you had to submit your music to publishers,
Yeah.
and publishers had to accept your music. And at that time, I had to mail the music in. At the time it was CDs, and then it went to the MP3. So but when I was doing it a lot, I had to mail a lot in before the MP3 way to submit your information came out. So I'm pretty familiar with the process of publishers. So when I had children 3 years in a row, so just repeating the things to them back to back over and over again, I was like, that's a song, or that's a book. So then that's how I started writing books, just kind of teaching them and repeating things to them a lot of times.
Right.
And then I'm familiar with like I mentioned, the publishing process. So I didn't want to wait to get my books published and send it to publishers and things of that nature. So I thought I could do it myself. So I just started self-publishing the books myself.
That is such a great thing. I was really blessed to do that about 5 years ago with my Barnabas book, which is about the power of encouragement. And that's kind of my life story. Is I love encouraging people, but to self-publish, and Amazon, they're great. I don't know about you, but I was able to use some resources with Fiverr.com and get some help in transcribing some of my old radio interviews into a book, and getting some people overseas to set it up in the right format. And I didn't know all these things that I needed to do, but you have successfully published. Wow, how many books is this? I'm looking at these right here.
24.
24.
It's only 24.
Only, yeah. You got more in you, right?
Yes, more
to go.
more.
This is great. This kind of reminds me, I know Sesame Street is not around anymore, but this kind of reminds me of my favorite letter is B.
Uh-huh.
That's wonderful. I can do it by myself. You can own it. Be brave. These are great titles, and
Thank you.
but they're for kids. So are these the kind of things that you would read to them, and they would learn to read from that as well? What is the age that you're targeting here, if I may ask?
Sure. So the age group is from 3 to, I'd say, around 9 to 10. Now, some of them, the early learner books, the children can read on their own, like the letter books. Yeah. They can read on their own, identifying the letter and identifying a picture. Some of the other books, it all depends on how advanced the child is in learning. They can read some of them on their own, or the parent or caregiver would need to read it to them.
Yeah, it's interesting that what I've discovered is probably when I was in kindergarten, a little tyke, basically it was keeping us, entertained and nap time, rather than realizing that preschool kids really don't assume that they you got to wait till they're in first grade before they can learn anything, but they have a really, what would be the word? Adeptitude, is that a word? That where they can, I just made that up. I don't even know how that's spelled. Where they can really learn a lot if we recognize that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Children can learn early The book, You Can Earn It, is actually, earn is a 4-letter word, and it's very important. So I know the importance of that word, and I wanted to teach my children the importance of that word. So as early as 4, my children learn how to spell that word, because every time we go in the store, Mom, can I have this? Can I have that? Dad, can I have this? Did you earn it? And of course they would say yes. And then I would say, well, how do you spell it? And then they would spell it. So it was just like, and then they also knew the importance of it. They knew the meaning of it too. So yes, children can learn so much early on if we teach them. That's the key point. We have to teach them.
Speaking of childhood experiences, tell our listeners a little bit about your own childhood experiences.
Well, so growing up, I just love school. I love writing. I went to a boarding school, Scotland School for Veterans Children, and they taught us how to write letters home. So I was constantly writing letters home to my mom. And, so that's probably where my first love came from, writing letters home.
So who was the veteran in the family?
My stepfather is.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Yes. Yeah, my son-in-law served in the 101st Airborne out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Oh.
So, same place that, believe it or not, that I don't know if you know who Jimi Hendrix is, but he actually
yes, of course.
Yeah, he actually was in the Army in boot camp at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he found his bass player there. By the way, just a little trivia. I'm an old disc jockey, so I have to rattle off a few of these historic stories every once in a while. You learn to write letters in boarding school. And what else were any other childhood experience that really stand out to you that you would like to just share today?
I just love writing. I remember in high school just discovering the meaning of vocabulary words. So then I would use them. Most of the time I use them in the wrong way on my friends, on my teachers, and my writing lessons. I'd be like, oh, astute. I like this meaning of this word. And then I said, oh, you're so astute. They were like, and then my friends would tease me, you don't even know what that means. You don't even know how to spell it. Like, you're using that word wrong. So it was just like, and to this day, I have a couple of my high school vocabulary words, because some of those words are used over and over again, as I became an adult. They're very important, and especially through my college career too, using some of those words and just remembering those words. And when I finally learned how to use those words, I was unstoppable.
Well, you triggered another memory in my little tiny brain here that pre-Google, we Google everything. One of my favorite books was actually the Thesaurus, because you could look up a word and see, I don't want to use this word twice in my writing. Right. So I got to find another word that says the same thing. So I might even still have it over there on my bookshelf. But that was a very valuable tool for the very same reason. I actually was a little, I wasn't really wild in high school, but in the wild in the writing vein, I decided to publish my own newspaper.
Oh, that's interesting.
And but it was kind of, let's just say it was kind of a little crass in my high school days. Let's say it that way. But I had a kid, one of my friends, who could actually do funny caricature cartoons of the school teachers, which really got me in trouble. So, but nevertheless, then in college, I did another newspaper, and it was a totally different emphasis. It was called Day by Day. So it's more kind of a spiritual kind of a thing. So anyway, like yourself, I always loved writing in one way or another, and talking. I obviously talk too much because this is your show. So as you already answered this question, but your books are great for kids 4 to 10 years old, approximately. And is there anyone that you've written that is kind of one of your favorites of all these 24 books so far?
That is a very good and interesting question. I try to ask myself, what's my favorite book? And then it changes. It changes a lot. Like, darn it, that one was my favorite. No, this one was my favorite. But I love My Amazing Superheroes. That book is dedicated to my 3 children. I thought that if I could tell them anything, if I can leave them with anything, I tell them all the time that they're amazing, but I wanted them to know. So the way that I can honor them is in a book. And so I can let them know that they'll know they're amazing, so that my amazing superheroes, and they are my superheroes. So that was my favorite. And Tyler's Big Christmas Surprise, the message in that book is I have a number of them that are my favorite because of the message. But Tyler's Big Christmas Surprise is another one. I can do it too. That book speaks to a child who's handicapped, and the children underestimate him because he's handicapped, but then he shows them that he can do it too. So that's the message in that book is another favorite. Make Mama Proud. Everyone most people want to make their mom proud or someone proud. So
yeah.
I have a number of them. I have at least top 5.
Yeah, well, that is powerful. I'm actually serve on the board of directors in San Jose with a friend of mine, Nick Palermo, and we have a ministry called Emmaus in Ministries, which is actually for handicapped adults. Because my firstborn, my son, had cerebral palsy, and so I really relate, and it touches my heart when I see what you said. You can do it. And that's the right book for the right title for disabled children or adults. So yeah,
and the child in the book has cerebral palsy. I just wanted to let you know that.
My goodness,
my nephew was born with cerebral palsy, so he inspired me to write that book. His condition inspired me to write that book, and I don't like to leave any population out. So I wanted to speak to the children who have a handicap. Children who may have lost their mom, and Make Mama Proud. The child lost their mom. Tyler's Big Christmas Surprise. The child is less fortunate. He doesn't like Christmas because his mom can't afford Christmas. Yeah. And then another student surprises him with a lot of Christmas presents. Wow. So I try to speak to different populations. I don't like to leave anyone out.
Wow, that is so powerful. Wow, that is a real. Thank you for taking a deeper dive into the different books. I'm glad I asked that question. I always like to ask people this question because I don't like to be the typical interview guy with the standard stock questions like sports reporters. That's the same questions over and over again. And I guess the athletes kind of get used to that. But my question to you is, what was your very first job ever?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. My very first job, I was a teenager in Philadelphia. We had a program called, I can't remember it, but it employed teenagers up to 13 to 16. And it was cleaning out lots. So it was fun because I was with a fun group. So I was like, I didn't know cleaning out lots, empty lots could be this fun.
Oh, really? Wow. Property.
Yes, it was trash. The lots were like dirty. So the property was most likely a city property. Yeah. So that was one of the sites where they employed the youth. So I had a job cleaning out lots for the summer.
Yeah, that would be called character building.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. As I mentioned, I think when we wrote to each other that my cousins grew up in Philly in the old row houses.
Okay. Yes.
And my uncle would be sitting there after work and watching a baseball game, the Phillies.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know if you like sports or not, but do you like sports?
I do. I used to be an athlete.
Oh, tell me about that.
Oh, I apply a lot of my goals to my work ethic as an athlete. As athletes, you have to keep going. You have to practice. You have to stay at it. And you have to constantly reset goals, constantly, work at it. So I apply my work ethic from my athletic days. So I used to play basketball. I used to run track, volleyball, but my favorite was basketball. If the WNBA was out when I was in high school, oh, that would have been my goal.
Awesome. That is awesome. So,
I'm telling my age, but that's okay.
no. I'm not asking. I'll just ask you I won't ask you what your age is. I'll just ask you what year you were born. No, I won't.
Right.
You don't have to answer that question.
So that's okay.
Well, that's fantastic. There's something about, wow, I'm just processing all this that you just said in terms of how your books are written, how your background and your work ethic and all of it, and the athletic part of it ties together. And it's very important, isn't it, that we can invest into our children.
Yeah.
Even that part about earn, the word earn, that we can work for things and earn things. We have to, as the old saying, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, who made that up? Where'd that come from? We got to look in our thesaurus to see what tree we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask you then, tell me why, and these are all on Amazon. That's people can find them there. And why and it's called Learn Something Book Series. I love that. So why should people buy these books?
Hi, everyone. You should buy the books because they're educational, they're inspirational, they're motivational, and they teach everyday life lessons. You can earn it. It's so important to teach that word at an early age. I can do it too. That's about a child with a handicap. And the child doesn't have to have a handicap just to think that they can do it too. They can have be struggling with something else, so you can apply that message to their life and encourage them and motivate them and make mama proud. You can own it. That one talks about real estate, owning a house. Some people grow up in a project. Some people grow up homeless in a shelter. Some people grow up in an apartment. So home ownership is important. So you can own it. That speaks to that. I grew up in a project, so I know the importance of home ownership. So I just want children to know that they can own it. So you should buy the Learn Something Children's Book Series because it teaches life lessons. It's also educational books. Let's learn our colors, letter books that they can learn their letters, the alphabets, and recognize words and recognize the different pictures that go with those words. And it's only $5.
Yeah, great prices for sure. There's no reason why somebody couldn't get one or all of these books. So it'd be quite a series, and you got a lot more to go. What I hear you saying though is the word possibilities. Mm-hmm. There's as far as owning a home and changing your situation and growing and learning, but it's all about what I hear you saying. This is a really powerful message, and I hope you know that, Javenna, that there are possibilities. Yeah. Well, I'm just speechless, which is very rare for me.
Oh wow! Hey.
You did it. You started talking. The possibilities are real, here in our country, regardless of all the noise that is around us. We get to choose. We get to choose the possibilities and decide for ourselves what is our path going to be. How can I get out of my situation? How can I change my situation? How can I believe in my family, believe in my children, believe in myself? And am I getting that right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
The power, I believe in the power of more. The power of more. People have so much in them. Yeah. Like I have 24, I've written 24 books, but I can do more. Everyone can do more if you just tap into that energy, if you just tap into that belief, if you just tap into that motivation. There's so many resources out there now. It's no excuse now. when we were growing up, we had to go to the library, we had to send stuff, we had to go to the office. Now you could just send stuff through emails, do a Zoom meeting like we're doing now. So it's so many opportunities out there now. So I don't think that the only excuse a person has is the one that they're limiting themselves. So the excuse that they're making for themselves. There's so many opportunities, and there's so much power within each individual to do more. So that's the legacy that I want to leave. I just want to keep producing. I love writing, and I'm not really focused on the sales. I mean, I hope and pray that the sales will continue to happen and grow, but I just want to do more. When it's all said and done, the ability that I've done all that I was supposed to do, that I didn't waste my talent, that I birthed everything that I was supposed to do while I'm here on earth. So I just believe in the power of more. We have to tap into that and believe we can do it.
Two things that I wanted to mention there. One, along that line is this lovely couple where we have our Bible study. And they're grandparents like we are. And one of the things that she said was legacy, that you need to write down stories that you can leave for your grandkids, because if you don't, they won't know. They won't know all your life lessons and all the things you've gone through and everything. Right. The other thing that I thought of, I interviewed a gentleman named Nir Bashan. He's got a great book. His book is about, we are consumed these days with data, but his whole book is about creativity and the fact, just what you said, actually, that we need to teach kids that on the creativity side and balance it. I'm out here in the Silicon Valley where everything is about data, but creativity is real. I was watching a documentary on John Lennon, of all people. He was asked in school by his teacher, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he wrote on his paper, happy. And the teacher rebuked him for saying
oh no.
yeah. So, anyway, that's interesting how, I've heard so many stories of Les Brown, who was told that he was, basically one of his school teachers said he was basically mentally retarded.
Right.
And later on, another teacher says when he got older, like in high school or whatever, he said, never say that again.
Yeah.
And, Les, as you know, I was so blessed to see him finally down here in San Jose about 2 years ago. And very awesome to hear that.
I listened to him.
Yeah.
I listened to him a lot. I love his speeches. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's awesome. It's all what we choose. It's a choice, what we choose to fill our mind with, and our self-talk.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. This is great. This is really great to be with you. And
thank you.
And I always ask, how can I help you? What website would you like us to send people to, in addition to Amazon, of course?
Sure. My website is learnsomethingBooks.com, and it should be ready in a day or two. It's already up now. I'm just doing a few revamping to it. And also my Instagram page is learn_something_books_series. So I have a lot of information on my Instagram page, a lot of updates, my new books that are coming out, things of that nature.
And that's Instagram. I'm writing this down.
Yes.
Okay, so that, just to clarify, it's learn_something_,
yes.
And is that books, plural? Books?
Yes.
Books.
_books series.
And okay, that's an underscore, not a dash. I got to fix my dash.
Yeah.
But it's books underscore rather.
Yes.
Books _series.
Yes.
Okay, got it. We will get that word out and then learn something books. And the website though is learnsomethingBooks.com.
Yes.
Without the series. Okay. All right. We want to share that. We want to share that with the world. And unbeknownst to me, as it's turned out, that I've got listeners all over the world in a lot of countries that surprised me, quite frankly. And I've actually had a lot of people through that service that we use that have wanted to be on my program, literally from all over the world as well, from the UK, South Africa, and Singapore, and all of them with a very unique and powerful message. So I appreciate you being with me, Javenna. I'm talking with Javenna Bellinger. Let me say that right. Who is the author of Learn Something Books, the series, on Instagram and also on Amazon. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap things up here?
I just want to say, believe in yourself, everyone, and you have the power to do more. Know that you can do more. Know that there's more in you. And let's continue to inspire others. And remember to learn something every day. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you.